Dodge to NASCAR rumors, the Daytona 500 winner, the Daytona 500 wrecks, and we're just going to get into all of it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, after the rains came and went, we had a Daytona 500 winner. But before the rain, before the race even started, we had a rumor about a manufacturer coming back to the sport of NASCAR. This article from catchfence.com and Chris Knight, the author. Catchfence.com has confirmed that NASCAR has received a formal submission from a manufacturer aiming to join Chevrolet, Ford, and Toyota in the series next year. The series he's referring to there is the Truck Series. And this is important because it confirms the long-held rumors that a manufacturer is coming to join the Cup Series. Now, what manufacturer that would be? Well, he gets into that as well. According to sources, Dodge is the leading candidate to return to the sport, making a comeback after its 2016 departure with the Ram brand, though the manufacturer had withdrawn official support after the 2013 season. So there you go. According to his sources, it is going to be Mopar, Dodge, Ram. They're going to use the Ram brand because that's the trucks they make for the Truck Series. And this is just going to be wildly popular. Mopar fans have wanted to be in NASCAR in some form or function, and now they're going to have something to watch in the Truck Series. And I think it's also going to help them move trucks, because if you've got a truck racing on the racetrack, there's going to be more people prone to buy that because they want to drive their favorite truck to the races when they go attend them. And it's just one of those things. It does translate. Is it going to move a ton of trucks? No, but it will move the needle a little bit, I think. Dodge, of course, got out of the sport when Penske switched to Ford, and they couldn't find another team that wanted to partner up with them, so they left with a driver's championship, I should say. So they left on a high note, but unfortunately nobody wanted to bring them back into the sport. But it looks like they're going to take a swing at the Truck Series here, so I think overall this is going to be a great story. Chris Knight didn't stop with the bombshells there, though. He said speculation continues throughout the garage, including this weekend at Daytona, that NASCAR is exploring additional cost-cutting measures, which could include a comprehensive redesign of the Truck Series bodies. And if that's true, that will get rid of the last steel-bodied, in my opinion, it'll get rid of the last steel-bodied race car that we have in the Touring Series. They will probably go to some type of composite body, possibly with an extended cab, because if you look at most trucks on the road, they have either a king or an extended cab. This is just a guess, but I would assume they would go with, what the manufacturers want, to look like on the racetrack, as you've seen in the Cup Series. They want the cars to look more like the cars on the road. So it would follow and track that they want at least an extended cab, if not a complete quad cab in the Truck Series. So it'll be really interesting to see which direction NASCAR goes with that. If it happens, of course. These are rumors. I don't want to report them like they're facts, but good job there from Chris Knight. Someone finally putting their name to which manufacturer is coming into the sport and what series it's going to be. So finally, we have something concrete to sort of look at. But before we move on, of course, the other rumor was that Honda, a lot of people were saying Honda is going to be in the sport. Let's not necessarily count Honda out of the sport either, because let's take a look at what Steve Phelps said to the Sports Business Journal not too long ago. We're having discussions with a number of original equipment partners that someday, if I had to guess, and we're a betting man, something is going to hit. I just don't know with whom or the timing of that, Phelps said. I know that's an answer I've given repeatedly over the last 5 years, but they're facts. There's no BS in the comment I just made. And he's also said multiple times that there could possibly be more than one manufacturer coming to NASCAR. So I wouldn't necessarily count Honda out of the mix just yet either. Those rumors still seem to be really hot. So it could, if we get super lucky, maybe at the same time we get Dodge and Honda coming in there, especially if the truck body changes, because then you could put the Ridgeline over there in the Truck Series as well. And yes, I know the Ridgeline isn't a real truck. It's put on a car frame, but to race in the Truck Series, it would work, because let's just be honest, the cars that they race on the racetrack are completely different from the cars on the road anyway. It's just a body they're putting on top of a chassis. Also of note, it would be perfect for Honda and Dodge to get into the Truck Series first to sort of dip their toe in, because you've already got the situation where Ilmor builds all the motors for the truck, so you don't need an engine program. So as far as cost-effective ways to enter into NASCAR, the Truck Series looks like a really, really viable option. So I could see both of those manufacturers, if they wanted to do it, dipping their toe in and going that route. All right, now to the main event. William Byron wins his second Daytona 500 in a row. That puts him one behind Denny Hamlin, who has 3. Can he catch Denny Hamlin before Hamlin retires? That would be an insane thing, because I thought Denny Hamlin had 3. I thought that was going to be something that stood for a long time. But now William Byron with 2 in a row, he has a chance to catch and possibly surpass Hamlin. And maybe even if he gets lucky enough or fortunate enough as these things break, maybe he challenges that 7 mark that Richard Petty has. But to say that William Byron winning this particular Daytona 500 was unexpected is an understatement because of all the wrecks. So we're going to go through the top 10, then I'm going to talk about the wrecks, which will be the bad race for this one. William Byron ends up your winner. Tyler Reddick with another second place finish there. Jimmy Johnson finishing in third, his first top 5 in this new car to him. So good finish for him. Highest finishing legacy man. Then you got Chase Briscoe in 4th there, another Toyota. John Hunter Nemechek, another Toyota in 5th. So 1 Chevrolet, and then the rest were Toyotas in your top 5. Then you got Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Justin Allgaier, the Junior Motorsports man, finishing in 9th. Then you got Chris Buescher in 10th, Michael McDowell, Eric Jones in 12th. So all your legacy cars in the top 15. Pretty cool deal there, especially how it went for them last season. Daniel Suarez in 13th, Ty Dillon in 14th, and Chase Elliott rounding out your top 15. And before we get to the wrecks, let's just run down through the points as well. Ryan Blaney, your points leader. William Byron in second, minus 2 points behind him. Then you got Austin Cindric, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Chris Buescher, Eric Jones, Jimmy Johnson, John Hunter Nemechek, Chase Briscoe, Chase Elliott, Ty Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Michael McDowell, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Ty Gibbs, rounding out your 16, who would be in the playoffs after the first race right now. Outside looking in, of course, going to be Joey Logano and Riley Herbst. All right, now let's get to the wrecks. With about 15 or so laps to go, Joey Logano and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. made contact. Now, depending on what camp you're in, you're going to blame either the 22 or you're going to blame the 47. I know Kyle Busch put the blame on the 22. I know Clint Boyer in the booth put the blame on the 47. At the end of the day, it's 15 laps to go. I feel like it was 50-50. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was blocking for all he was worth. Joey Logano had the faster car, wanted to get by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for all he was worth. If you're going to put blame on anybody, I would say it's 50-50. But in reality, I'm not putting blame on anybody because it's 15 laps to go in the Daytona 500. You're trying to win the race. I'm not putting blame on anybody there. It's the nature of this racing. If you want to put blame on anybody, put blame on NASCAR for having this type of drafting where guys really can't move or separate to make actual moves in this just jumbled up pack racing. But in that wreck, you had Joey Logano, the 47, you had Kyle Busch, you had the 12 car, the 4 car, the 6 car, the 9 car, the 34 car, and the 41 car, all receiving some type of damage. So about 10 cars in that particular ordeal. But wait, we have more, because with roughly about 4 or 5 laps to go, Cole Custer was pushing Christopher Bell, and Christopher Bell just had a really loose race car from what it looked like on TV and couldn't hold it. So another caution comes out, and about 9 or 10 cars were in this one as well, which involved the 40, the 20, the 6, the 60, the 99, the 5, the 23, the 40, the 43, and I don't know if Bubba Wallace was in the wreck, but he came down pit road to get something repaired underneath the hood. So once again, about 9 or 10 cars in that particular deal. So within within a 10-lap span there, you had about 20 cars affected by a wreck. But wait, there was more, because on the last lap, with the green flag checkered there, Cole Custer moved down trying to make a pass, and when he did, depending on how you look at it, once again, either the 19 moved down to avoid him or Cole Custer pushed the 19. I don't know. Like, you can replay it and look at it all you want to. Once again, I'm not blaming anybody. This is just Daytona. They're going for a win, so I'm not necessarily faulting anybody here. But from third on back, basically, it wipes out the field, and the people that remained were who won the race. So that is my bad race. All of the wrecks, the pack racing itself. But before we move on from that, we got to jump back to that other wreck, because Ryan Preece, once again at Daytona, was on his roof. Which leads me to my next point. All week, all we heard about was they've paved the infield. This is going to make it safer. Cars aren't, hopefully cars won't flip and all that. And that's cool. It's good that they paved the infield. Hopefully that is safer going forward. But once again, they haven't addressed the issue, and they puff their chests out, and they're like, we paved the infield, we're reducing these flips and all that. But once again, a car flipped, and it's very apparent that is the underbody underneath the car that is causing these cars to flip at high-speed racetracks. We saw Preece do it once again in 2023. I've already mentioned that, but we also saw it last year with Josh Berry, who flipped, I think it was at Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. But we've seen this over and over again. It has nothing to do with paving the infields and getting rid of grass. It is the underbody to the car. Some people blame the rear diffuser, but in this one, you can't say it was the rear diffuser because once the car got just a little bit of the nose up, that caused just enough lift for the car to flip once again. So, and there's things that they can do with these underbodies, and they need to take a look at it because we can't continue to have drivers keep on flipping. One thing they could do is just take the underbody off altogether for super speedways and put an X brace. I know they have to have some type of underbody to connect the body to this particular car, but you can put some type of X bracing in there that would hold that body on super speedways. They're smart enough. They can figure it out. You don't have to have the underbody at super speedways or high speed tracks. Now, I'm not going to get into every solution to do it, but that is like literally the easiest way to go about your business there as far as getting rid of the underbody at super speedways. But the other thing that's going to go generally ignored here is the pack racing. The pack racing, nobody can create any type of separation with this car. These cars are basically cookie cutter versions of each other, and there's no separation to be had. So that is the other big thing that is causing all of this calamity and all of this chaos. There is no separation. Now, I know a lot of people like this type of pack racing, but at the end of the day, is it safe? And I feel like that's a fair question to ask as well. Are we weighing entertainment over safety in this particular situation? And if that's the case, it doesn't even need to be a conversation. We need to go with safety over entertainment. That being said, I feel like it was a generally well-received Daytona 500. I think a lot of people liked it. I think it was very popular, at least amongst the live chat when we were talking about it there. And there was one other controversy that we need to get to before we go away from this, and that was the caution at the end. They let them race all the way to the green flag. I was all for that. I think that was a great move. I think for as much as I just, said what NASCAR needs to change, let's give them some credit here. They listened to the fans after the Eric Jones, Austin Cindric debacle in the duels, and they let the thing play out because there was no imminent danger to anybody, so they just let them race back to the line, and I thought that was the right move there. So good for NASCAR for actually listening to the fans and general public and letting them race back when there wasn't imminent threat to any of the drivers being in danger to throw that yellow flag and immediately end the race. All right, that's all I got for you on this one. If you made this far, would love to have your subscription. If not, I'll just keep making these things, and yeah, that's going to do it. Peace.